Meet, and I am Ramneet Kaur Narula. I am a psychologist. I am a life coach. In specification, I am a cognitive hypnotic coach, and also I am practicing as a corporate trainer. So I am conducting trainings online. I am getting live on YouTube. I am trying to promote mental health as much as possible. I passed out from my master's in clinical psychology in 2018. So thereafter I've been getting into things whichever possible in order to remove the stigma and familiarize the terms of mental health with people more and more. And I've been into counseling as well ever since I was there in school only, which was not really logical then, but today it becomes logical when you've been actually dealing with clients. So welcome you all here and hope to have an interactive session. I have questions that I'll be putting out on you all people and you are the experts. You'll be answering these questions. So whichever question you all feel you want to answer, you can simply either put the reaction sign on your screen that I want to answer. That's a hand up sign there in the reaction section. So we can use that, and so it'll be easy for me to ask you all to speak, and there will be a non-disturbing session, because if two people speak at a time, there is a possibility that there is disturbance because of the mics. So right now it is perfectly fine, so you can also all stay on the mics on unless you think that there is disturbance around you. So let us begin with Rita ma'am. She's been the first person who joined. Please introduce yourself, ma'am.
Yeah, I was looking forward to this. So I'm Rita Agarwal, and I've been a practicing consulting psychologist since last 30 years in the city of Nagpur. I did my MPhil from Mumbai University Kalina campus and my MA and BA from Ranchi University.
Wow.
And I've been doing a lot of mental health programs, but some highlights of my career are that I run a counseling column in the local newspaper called the Hitwada, which covers the entire central India. That's a counseling column, like an agony aunt column. And that I started way back in 1992. So that's 28 years. It started with my clinic almost. When I started my practice, the counseling column also started. And that is my source of clientele, because that's how I reach my audience.
Nice.
And it's one of the most popular columns because people read, they send their queries and they read the answers and the solutions. Otherwise, they contact me.
Wow, the Hitwada, right? I'm really eager to read one of your articles.
Hitwada is Central India's largest newspaper, comes out from Raipur, Jabalpur, Bhopal, and Nagpur. But the headquarters are in Nagpur. Besides that, like you said, a lot of corporate training, a lot of personality development programs for kids and adolescents. And I'm a very old member of the Rotary Club of Nagpur. So at the Rotary, this is something interesting all of you should know. At the international level, we have something called Rotary Action Group on Mental Health Initiatives, where I'm charter member and director since 2015, where we do mental health projects all over the world.
Okay.
So in Nagpur also, and some of them are in granted projects, like you get the global grants for it and you can work on that. So we are starting a depression and prevention of depression program in 10 schools in Nagpur, which after the COVID finishes, and we are getting the grants for that. So that is one thing. And also at the district level, in our Rotary district level, I'm starting with the first aid depression program across the clubs. So the COVID has actually highlighted the mental health and brought it into center stage, which is good for all of us.
Yes, because it was never when we connected to people online like this. And like I said in the beginning, unless we had conferences and workshops, we were not supposed to meet each other. We could not actually get to another state all the time and meet.
But the media is a very, just because all of you are so young, the media is a very good avenue for marketing and promoting yourself. And I've been a writer, so I've written. If you go to my website, you'll see all my writings.
Please share the link, ma'am, in the chat box of your website.
No, that's a website. That's
of the website.
How do I share that? I don't know how to share.
You can just type it in the chat box.
I'll type it. So you'll see my columns. So I wrote columns on women's issues, on work affairs, on counseling. And Shades of Grey is a general psychological column with variety of psychological issues. So I'm not a very socially extroverted person. So I never created a network by meeting people and going to doctors and saying हमको patients भेजिए, वो हम नहीं करते हैं. लेकिन newspaper से मेरा जो media presence है is very very strong, and it's a weekly column. So whether people know me or not, but my face and my column appears every week in the press.
Wonderful.
Which is that
Wonderful.
paper?
The Hitwada. It's called Central India's leading English daily called the Hitwada.
Itwata.
Hitwada. I'll type it just now.
Yes.
So
please.
that's all about me. Now let's hear about others.
Yes. So I'll move on to Hiral ma'am. And also, since we need to keep it really short, please let's quickly introduce ourselves. Hiral
Yeah,
ma'am, please
okay.
go ahead. I'm so glad to know Rita ma'am already.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
this is Hiral Khimani. I'm a consulting psychologist and I'm practicing in Mumbai, that is near Thane, Kalyan. Okay, I'm into this field for 16 years. My expertise is career guidance as well as marital issues. I deal with other kind of adolescence issues per se. And I'm a UCLA certified career counselor. And I'm a RCA registered psychologist too. So my reports are again considered by different boards. So yeah, and plenty of things I keep doing. So
Wow.
this was just a short of me.
I
And
understand.
I really have a lot of depth to keep on learning things. So I'm just going to learn lot of things from here. So I'm going to contribute a lot, but still I'm going to keep learning also.
Very
Yes, yes. What does UCA, Hiral ma'am? Please tell if you could.
It's a California, from University
Okay,
of
okay.
California.
Okay, okay. Thank you for your kind introduction, ma'am. Moving on to Vaishali.
Yes, yeah. So my name is Vaishali Pandya, and I'm a psychologist from Mumbai. So I have been trained in rational emotive behavioral therapy and cognitive behavioral therapy from Atha Psychotherapy. Asira Chimule, she is a supervisor and fellow associate of Albert Ellis New York Institute. So I've been trained under her, and apart from that, I've been working in child rehabilitation center as a clinical therapist, and I have been also associated with two of the mental health organizations as a consultant psychologist. And I do have my own venture named Potential Minds. So there I provide digital services. I'm too young, so I'm looking forward to learning a lot more from others and share the knowledge, learn, and provide whatever I know.
All the very best. I think I've seen Potentiate Minds.
Yes, even I have also seen Potential Minds, and plenty of times advertisements come, but I was not aware of this young psychologist. So nice to see you
Yes,
here.
absolutely. In fact, I forgot to mention I forgot to mention about me in my introduction. I have started the Grace of Mind by Ramneet, and I'm a mindfulness expert also. So let's move on to Miss Indrani.
Okay, my career started the other way around. I was already volunteering in World Vision and West Bengal Voluntary Health Association as a counselor. And I always wanted to help people out. So I was doing that, but suddenly I was diagnosed with RA. And we all know, being psychologists, you all know that RA is a somatization of severe anxiety, depression, etc., etc. So I was literally in bed. I couldn't move. I couldn't turn sides, etc., etc. I was there, like what you call that you touch the rock bottom. And yes, these physical morbidities come along with a lot of problem around you. Okay, so being in a family, it caused a huge amount of what shall I say, disturbance. And but then I am not the kind basically to just sit around and go about life the way it is. So I have literally recreated myself, and I absolutely believe in self-actualization. And my journey started from there. I study a lot from wherever I get even a page full of information. I try to go through that. Okay, I've completed my MS. I am, for the last 6 years, I'm struggling with my PhD. I hope I'll be able to submit it once
I
COVID
hope
thing gets
as
over.
well.
Yes, and I know how much life coaching, how much difference it can make.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and yes, and I know there are so many people out there, because when I used to go to the doctor, I would see women coming in, and let me tell you that women are more affected with RA, remember that, right, than men. And I actually, when I came out of it, I won't say I came out of it, but I could manage it better.
Yeah.
And when I was there, and another thing happened, when I was RA positive, I stopped eating everything, because I thought that everything I eat is causing so much of pain in me, you know. So I stopped eating everything. My readings went down miserably. And that is when my doctor, without even consulting an oncologist, declared that with 4.5 hemoglobin, she was having cancer, colon cancer. So he said, your readings are too bad, and I think you have colon cancer, and I think you don't have much time left. Obviously, my first response was that, okay, I'm happy that all the pain will end, but then I had a son. And so it was really not possible for me to leave this art. But when it was only 3 months, I had only two motives then. First, to make my son self-sufficient, who was in class 6 then. And secondly, live my life these 3 months. Nothing should stop me from living. So I was basically gulping down, you know, handful of painkillers, and I was living my life. But somehow, because I was eating everything, going everywhere, having fun, I recovered a lot. Okay. My RA came into my control. So I somehow, and then, yeah, then my cancer report came negative. And my hemoglobin count came up, my vitamin D3 counts came up. So I've actually died, and I've come back from there.
Yes.
So I completely believe that if I can provide support to a person, they can actually turn around and do something in their lives.
Very right.
So from there comes my center, Cherish Being You, my web new, indrani.therapy, indrani-therapy.com. And first I started with my website, and then I had my clinic, because I was not sure if I can manage 6 days a week, 8 hours a day, but now I can. I have practiced. Touchwood, success rate is very high, because anybody who walks into my center, they get a very, they get a team service, you know. All of us together, psychiatrist, myself, my psychologist, my career counsel, anything one needs, we make sure that when the person is walking out after 3 months or 6 months, he doesn't need to come back to another therapist or go meet another therapist. So touchwood, our success rate is very high. No, I don't advertise much. It's just the word of mouth that goes around, and the kind of work I get, I'm happy with that. And with COVID, yes, I have started with corporate stuff, but I still concentrate on coaching and relationships.
Wonderful. Glad to know you. Glad to know you.
That's
And
all
I
from
would
me.
actually reach out to you after this session. Please don't mind.
Definitely.
Reason being, on my handle on Instagram, The Grace of Mind by Ramneet, I had started an initiative wherein I am asking people, requesting to be the other way around, if they could share their stories of mental health illness or some other illness.
Absolutely.
Wherein mental health is connected. The reason being, if we do not educate people this way, they will never know that it can happen to anyone. I've been able to successfully share two stories for the past 2 weeks. And believe me, it has
I will be there.
influenced people.
I'll be there. And I have been severely depressed.
Ramneet, would you take chronic physical illness and its repercussions on mental health?
Yes, if there is a comorbidity which the individual has been through, and I believe any individual who has a physical illness goes through a comorbidity.
A lot of mental
they do.
distress.
They do. Yes.
No, because like Indrani's story is basically of physical health.
Yeah.
And
No, but
and that's connected with anxiety.
This physical health is not possible without depression. You
Yes,
have to have
right,
severe
right.
depression
Yeah, so
and anxiety. Without which you cannot have RA.
No. My
Yeah.
question was whether you're doing stories of people with purely mental disorders or people with physical illness leading to.
I have been actually doing with the people of purely mental disorders so that they can speak about what they go through and how they help themselves and why is it important to reach out to an MHP, which is a mental health
On
professional.
which forum do you do that interviews?
I do it on my Instagram handle, the Grace of Mind by Ramneet. I'll be sharing my handle by the end of the session.
Oh, yes.
I
I
think
will
we could all share our.
Yes, perfect.
I'm not on
So meanwhile,
Instagram.
your email IDs and your website, ma'am, you shared your website, right?
I'll share my email ID also.
Yeah, definitely. We'll all do that. We are left with Anupama, ma'am. Ma'am, please introduce yourselves so that we can move ahead quickly.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm
Good evening.
Dr. Anupama. I'm pursuing my MD psychiatry right now. I've not started my professional career as yet, still under my studies. I've done my MBBS from GMC Bidar, Karnataka, and joined MD in 2018. I'll be completing it next year in June 2021. That's it about me.
Okay, no worries, no wonders. So, are we ready to? Thank you for introducing yourself, Anupama. Are we ready to go on with anxiety disorders and some questions? I would actually try to quickly throw up questions which are answerable in like 2 to 3 minutes. If not,
Please ask Anupama to have her video on.
yes, Anupama, please
Yeah,
don't
that's
mind.
nice.
Can you keep your
You're the
video?
only psychiatrist among us, so you're very
Yes.
valuable.
Yes, you're very valuable. Do we have a
Looking
clinical?
forward to learn a lot from Anupama
Where
ma'am.
are you based?
I need to
Anupama?
learn from you people. I'm in
Where are you?
Shimla right now, Indira Gandhi Medical College.
Shimla.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, actually.
Bangalore to Shimla.
We connect to varsities, you know, it is so grateful. I
We have
can't.
Nagpur,
We should
Mumbai,
thank Bhumika.
Kolkata, and
We
Shimla.
should thank Bhumika that she has really globed the
And she's
entire
run
world
away.
in
She's
one
gone.
mobile.
Yes.
No worries, we can have more sessions. At least 7 of us will have more sessions, I'm sure.
I'm
Please,
glad.
let's do that.
Hello, Ramneet.
Let's do that.
Over to you.
Thank you. There is some Miss Harshita joining. Hello, Miss Harshita. If you're there, can you please quickly join us with your video on? Meanwhile, I'm just throwing up a question so that we have some involvement.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So not really going with the basics right now. Okay. So I'll go with the basics only. What are the most common symptoms do you all believe are there in people with anxiety disorders? The most common symptoms which you have seen are recurring in your patients or around you when there are the cases of anxiety disorders.
तो I can talk about that. उसमें नींद नहीं आती है, चक्कर आते हैं, भूख नहीं लगती है, और पैनिक अटैक्स में तो बुरा ही हाल हो जाता है.
Hello, Ms. Priyanka. Really sorry to interrupt. Okay, so Ms. Priyanka and Ms. Harshita, we just finished up with the introduction since we are already running late. And we just started with the very first question. So I'll be throwing questions and you can all answer. You can choose to answer the way you want. You can raise your hands up and answer, or you can just turn on your mics and answer. Okay. Please continue, ma'am.
Okay, I forgot where I was. I think one of the main symptoms which people throw up is sleep.
Yeah.
So sleep disturbances, कि नींद नहीं आ रही है और घबराहट हो रही है, like palpitations, which is a very common symptom. And बच्चों में अगर आप anxiety symptoms देखेंगे तो पेट दुख रहा है, स्कूल नहीं जाना है, और concentration नहीं हो रहा है, and crying spells, खूब रोना आ रहा है, और पेट दुखना is one of the very common symptoms among children. Whereas adults can throw up lots of mental and physical symptoms.
Okay. That was really a nice input of yours, ma'am. Harshita ma'am, can we see you? Is it possible for you to turn your mic on and talk to us? And even better if you could please turn the video on.
Maybe she's not there.
Yeah,
She's there.
Wow. So pleasure to see faces. Thank you, ma'am, for coming up with your video and mic. if you could please quickly introduce yourselves with your location, how you're practicing as, and your good name. We are good to go.
I am from Jaipur, Rajasthan, and I'm a rehab counselor. And I was working in a school, Sophia Angela Public School. So recently, just been done with that.
Good.
Okay, okay, nice. So
Okay,
somebody
so
from the field of rehabilitation is also good to have. You were saying something in Jani ma'am?
East to west, Kolkata to Rajasthan. Not bad.
Ah.
No, I just had a couple of points, like
Yes,
in
yes,
kids
please
or
add.
even in adults, we get to see sweaty hands,
Sweaty
Mhm.
feet.
sweaty palms and feet, and they have this tendency of rocking.
Yes,
I have seen this
shaking
so
their feet
shaking
also.
their feet at
Yeah,
all times.
and doing something with their anything that is there in hand.
Anything, a pain maybe, and sometimes even pulling hair, that is also there. And they have a tendency of resistance. I don't want to go out now. Procrastination. I don't want to go out now. Yeah, I'm doing it. Go take your bath. I'll be going. Wait, there's something there. I'll do this. Procrastination is also huge in them.
Okay,
Huge.
this connects me to the next question I want to ask. Vaishali, you want to give some inputs?
Yeah, yeah.
Please do. Please go
So
ahead.
see, with anxiety from other illnesses, we see a lot of physical symptoms. So heart pounding, then muscle tensions.
Yes.
Usually, physical symptoms
Yes.
come before the moods and thinking patterns take in place. So that's one of the essence of anxiety that we see. And with children, as rightly Rita ma'am said, that they have stomachache issues or they have reasons or some somatic symptoms also. But along with that, there are a lot of irritability, tantrum throwing that take place, and that takes them to the stubbornness. So I don't want to do this. And
Yes, exactly.
maybe if they carry those anxiety in later life as adults, could be, as rightly Indrani said, resistantness or avoidance mechanisms that taking place within them, and those rigid patterns that they contribute to. So that's one of the things that we see with symptoms, and with a mindset, that rigid mindset is maybe I will not get out of it. Maybe my anxiety is not curable. That we see. That thought comes up.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's one of the symptoms.
So what is it with fidgeting that helps these people or those who are suffering from anxiety disorders? They fidget with, I think, some smiley balls. They would use a fidgeter, or they will just do something which is very fidgety, and they'll continue. Also, they carry some device, some element, be it a sweet or be it something else which provides them with some sort of relief when they are in the position of anxiety. Anxiety could be because of fear. Anxiety could be because of a sudden onset of a situation which they were not prepared for. So inputs from you all on how fidgeting is helping them, and how keeping something in their pocket at all times is providing them some sort of relaxation or relief, that yes, I have this for me.
Ramneet, Vaishali here.
Yes, Vaishali, go ahead.
So it's kind of a sensory seeking behavior, we say. The way it's told that rocking is one of the symptoms that you see. So same
Right.
way the fidgeting is with pen, maybe, probably,
Yes,
or
yes.
that famous fidget spinner, then
Yes,
everything.
yes.
That contributes them to divide their mind or attend to that thing more than their anxiety or that anxiety provoking thoughts. So they kind of make it work like a defense mechanism. That's what I feel.
Can I add a
Sure,
point
sure,
here?
sure. Please go
Yeah.
ahead.
So when a person is anxious,
Yeah.
whether we notice or we don't notice, there is a physical response to that. Our body, our brain responds to this anxious situation, and definitely that fight or flight thing comes in. A lot of energy gets created in the body. right?
Right.
So I believe that in order to get rid of some of that energy, a person needs to do something. We just cannot sit in one place when we have a lot of energy uh, getting generated inside us. The palpitation, the fast breathing, everything is so we can create more energy. Even sweaty palms, because of that generation of energy, we get sweaty palms and feet. So this rocking is a way of releasing some of that energy so that
Okay.
they can feel a little calmer, you know,
Got that.
comparatively. Mhm.
Yes.
Good point.
I
Yes.
would like to add on.
Yeah.
Sure, ma'am, please.
No, let her go. Hiral.
Yeah, person might even start kind of obsessions with the things and the compulsions of continuously like washing hands, certain
Yeah.
rituals, keep on checking. So basically, that will actually reduce their anxiety. And since it's a free-flowing anxiety, they don't know what exactly why they are feeling that way when the situation is not there. So to keep them grounded, to keep them comfortable with their to deal with that anxiety, they keep on having this kind of rituals, continuously having hand washes or keep checking with the things or rechecking the things or saying the same thing again and again. Yeah.
Right. Uh, Rita, ma'am, you wanted to add something?
Exactly what Hiral was saying. So, what happens when there is an emotion in the body or the mind? Then there is, like Indrani said, there is a physical reaction or an action which comes with the emotion because it makes you move. The very word emotion means movement. So it
Yeah.
makes you, so you'll see people becoming either restless, so they'll pace up and down, or they'll do some action. They might go and just fight with somebody, or they might just burst out crying. Like you said, if they have something in the pocket, so they'll press that if they have a toy in their hand, or they'll like pull their hair. So there is an action which will come with the emotion, and that is how we notice somebody's behavior.
Right. Right.
Or there is a very rapid eye movement
Hmm.
or a neck movement. Somebody
The physiological signs and symptoms.
physiological reactions. Yeah.
Yes.
So physiological reactions will definitely accompany the emotion, and
Yeah.
that's how you can make out that somebody is not calm and relaxed,
Right. 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 Very right.
jumping off the seat.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for your inputs, all of you. I'm muting all of you so that we do not have a disturbance. I just felt in the middle. So you can all unmute to say. So my next question is very indulging, I feel, and this is anxiety disorders are a cause or a consequence of lifestyle. What do you feel? So anyone who's wanting to speak? Sure, ma'am, please go ahead. Oh, three of you. Okay, so we'll go with Hiral ma'am first and then we'll go with Rita ma'am and Rani ma'am.
Yeah. So basically, it's I think a consequence rather than a cause kind of a thing,
Yeah.
because when we are not able to deal with the current situation and like a stressor, and then in that case it results to the consequences of anxiety, and when there is a free flowing kind of anxiety, the current scenario like physical symptoms not able to identify them and
Mm-hmm.
not able to find the logical reason for that, and that is leading to more and more kind of anxiety provoking situations. So it's more of a consequences dealing because of the social factors rather than the cause, I can say.
Yes. Okay. What do you have to say, Rani ma'am and Rita ma'am? You can all communicate with each other. I'll just unmute you, ma'am. I'll just unmute you.
Okay. What I would like to say is that a person cannot develop anxiety at a later age. When we see a very anxious person who's grown up, the manifestation started way earlier in the
Mm-hmm.
childhood. And a child doesn't get anxious all of a sudden.
Yes.
The anxiety is caused by lifestyle the child is meant to follow by parents. So a kind of lifestyle that the child doesn't bring up on himself or herself, but is made to follow, that leads to the onset of anxiety. And this anxiety, if left untreated, will later on become the cause of other lifestyle disturbances.
Yes,
Okay.
I think, yes. Rita ma'am, are you able to unmute yourself? You can go ahead with your inputs.
Yeah, so see, if we look at all emotion, that ABC theory which RET suggests is that there is an activating event.
Yes.
That's an activating event, and then there is a certain belief system or an idea in your head,
Yeah.
and that generates your emotions and your thought processes, right? So definitely it's a consequence of what you face. Now, coming to your question of whether it's a lifestyle, you said whether it's a cause or it's a
Or
lifestyle. It in the long run, it can be both.
yes.
Because the moment you develop, if the child develops certain negative belief systems, then that will act as a sparking point. So it will act as an initiator of further anxiety. But
Yeah.
initially, if you look at life in general, then we all undergo, whether it's you're a child or an adult, there are psychosocial stressors, like Hiral said. These
Yes.
psychosocial stressors will generate certain emotions and thoughts in your mind and body. Then if you're a little child, it depends on the parent, how the parent teaches the child certain belief systems and says, ऐसे सिचुएशन में क्या करना, शांत रहना, डीप ब्रीदिंग करो, मेडिटेशन करो, नेगेटिव नहीं सोचना. तो वो बिलीफ सिस्टम्स,
I'm sorry.
बिलीफ सिस्टम्स वो क्रिएट करते हैं हम. अगर हम वो बिलीफ, पॉजिटिव बिलीफ सिस्टम्स क्रिएट नहीं करते हैं, तो फिर वो आपका दुश्मन बनता है. फिर वो कॉज भी हो सकता है, कॉन्सिक्वेंस भी हो सकता है.
तो मैम, जैसे आपने बोला कि I'm sorry, I'm just losing track because Bhumika just texted me how did it go, and I believe it is not over yet. तो मैं ये पूछना चाह रही थी आपसे कि हम बिलीफ सिस्टम्स बनाते हैं या किसी को सजेस्ट करते हैं कि आप डीप ब्रीदिंग करो या पॉजिटिव थिंकिंग करो, आर दे एबल टू go by our terms? Are they able to adapt with it?
You asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you.
Definitely. How the mother talks to the child.
Yeah, for the child, okay. And for adults are also able to follow what we say?
Adults, then you have to challenge those belief systems.
Like?
Somebody has a negative belief system. That is what we do in RET and CBT. That we ask them, like what Vaishali said, she's a trained RET and CBT specialist. So we ask them, what are the thoughts which come to you when you feel anxious? So what are the thoughts which precede? And what are the thoughts you think you're thinking now? So then when they tell those thoughts, you have to examine those thoughts. Behind those thoughts is a belief system. It's a very, see the cultural aspect, the philosophical aspect,
Yes,
the religious aspect. Everything plays on your mind.
Yeah.
So how are you thinking? What are you thinking? How do you lead your life? What are your priorities in life? What do you think of yourself as? Everything, your self-esteem, your self-image, everything is going to matter a lot in your handling of emotions. So it's after all an emotion.
Yes, it's after all an emotion. So can we conclude it is a consequence of both the, it is also a consequence and it is also a cause of the lifestyle. We can conclude that ways, I suppose, right? So how do we assess if somebody is feeling that he is approaching towards an anxiety disorder now, how does this person self-assess himself or herself for the same?
Ramneet?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so with self-assess, with anxiety, it's one of the things that the person is self-aware with anxiety. Maybe with other things, they might not understand what's happening, but with anxiety, they say they have an insight that they are anxious. But at the same time, they feel that situation as paralyzing because, they feel helpless. They cannot do it. They are not able to control it. So there is a self-assessment, of course, but then it gets difficult to work out. And as Rita ma'am said that, with REBT and CBT, we actually question them. So we are disputing their thought, their thinking patterns. So if they tell me that I'm feeling anxious, so you need to ask them, how is it helpful to you? In what way is it helping you? So if they come up with it, everyone is experiencing anxiety, so it's natural to experience anxiousness in this pandemic or something like that. So you need to dispute again that what evidence do you have that there is everyone 100% of the population experiencing anxiety. So no,
Mm-hmm.
you come down. Downward question technique is one of the way when you come down to questioning, and then you come to the core belief of the person, that what are they exactly thinking about themselves, and
Yes.
how this limiting belief is letting them not see something beyond it. I use this analogy, frog inside the well. When the frog is inside the well, the frog is going to see whatever it is inside the well. The frog
Yes.
is not going to see something
What
that's
is
outside.
outside the
So
well? Right.
the
Beautiful.
limiting belief
You have
just
a little bandwidth issue.
change the procedure.
Okay, I could not hear you in the end because you had a little bandwidth uh, problem of internet. So,
Oh, okay.
but you beautifully mentioned the example of that, of the well, that the frog is in the well, and absolutely truth. These clients will not be able to see what is beyond that. So, how do you all feel that these times, which are so challenging, and those of pandemic, everything is causing and adding more to distress and anxiety? How are we, as the experts in the field of mental health, able to help these people with anxiety disorders, especially those with anxiety disorders, because it is online and it is through telecounseling sessions? How are we able to help them, and are these giving into the rise of more of anxiety? If you know of something in the similar lines, please talk about it. Whatever you know, if you know of people who have gotten their anxiety risen for some reason, and how have you been able to help them?
Say the question again, please.
Okay. So I mean that during the times of the pandemic, you have to be online, and we are only providing online sessions, be it telecounseling or video counselings. Also, due to the pandemic, is there a rise in the cases of anxiety disorders or anxieties because of so many things that you need to do, and there are so many thoughts which can be perturbing for these clients? How do we deal with the very same?
Yeah, so definitely anxiety and depression and stress are
Yeah.
on the rise during the pandemic,
Yeah.
whether they are children, whether they are adults, whether they are men
Yes.
or women. And among the children, I can tell you the online education which is going on in
That is
schools
really
is,
right.
is also proving to be very stressful for them. And
Yeah.
it's also proving to be very stressful for the parents, because the workload of online education has come on to the parents. So the mothers have become a little stressed out handling the children, and now the online education has also come on to them. So
Yes.
we are helping them through various webinars, which we do online with various schools. We have started this project on prevention of depression and stress in different schools, where we
Okay.
do webinars
Nice.
for the parents and
Hmm.
for the students. And we have also done a small little video which we are circulating as to how to take care of your mental health during the pandemic.
Wow. Nice.
These are social initiatives through the Rotary Club.
Nice.
Okay, can I add a
Sure.
few
Sure.
things?
Please. Please.
Okay, now the clients who come to Cherishwing, they are mostly like anxiety is the basic, what you say, feeling amongst
Hmm.
all patients of mental disorder, right? So
Right.
what we do is that we have support groups where we have the kids. For me, up to 30 all are kids. Okay, the kids in our group. We have a ladies group. We have unisex groups like that, and we hold webinars for them every week.
Okay.
Okay, so every client of mine is there in one group or the other,
Wow.
and they get support from us on a weekly basis. Other than that, they need us for some school or anything, I am working with a few schools. Even there, I create videos for half an hour, which they telecast to their kids. And there is a portal where the parents or the kids themselves or teachers, they can question. The next half hour
Very
of the
nice.
video, I answer those
Wow.
questions. Okay.
Wow.
So that is how I'm going about. And any new client, the first session I prefer to do on a video session, and after that they get added to any of the support groups so that I can provide them with a weekly session every weekend.
Okay, okay, that is part of the strategy which even I am following, because I believe the first session should be a video counseling session. Otherwise, you're not able to identify the body language of the client. That is so nice. We are all in the very same field of interest. So, do you think anxiety disorder or anxiety is adaptive? So, probably somebody who's read synopsis of psychiatry may be aware of this topic or may have read something about it, but it's a very short paragraph in there. So, what is your take on this? Is it adaptive? Also, I think on the very similar lines, how do the people around those with anxiety suffer? So if a child or if an adult has anxiety in a family, how are the family members bound to suffer, or how are the friends bound to suffer? On what notes, if you feel that they suffer?
Shall I answer that?
Sure, ma'am, you can. Please.
See, anybody who's anxious, depressed, stressed, any family member is bound to create an atmosphere where the other family members are going to be impacted. It's never in isolation.
Yes.
When we see a happy family, it means everybody is active, happy, doing their own work in their own comfort zone, interacting also with each other in a comfortable way. The discomfort comes in when somebody starts shouting, crying, shows signs of stress. Then everybody runs, all the other family members have to run to help that person.
To help that person.
So the whole atmosphere changes.
Yes.
And then if it goes away fast and it's handled nicely, great.
So is it adaptive, ma'am? Do you think it is adaptive? Anxiety is adaptive?
Adaptive to what?
Adaptive in its general sense for a person. Is it adaptive? So
maladaptive.
Can I just respond?
One second, it's maladaptive. For example, anxiety. There is a psychosocial stressor, which is causing the anxiety. So far, so good. But that if that anxiety behavior continues, it's maladaptive to the challenge. One has to face the challenge, solve the problem, and deal with yourself in a harmonious way and get back to your balance of mind and body. Over to you, Indrani.
Oh, you're on. Yeah, please go ahead, ma'am.
When you say
you have a network crunch in January.
I would just like to say that if a mother is just, will definitely be anxious.
Yeah, right.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, now
Hello.
I can. Now I can.
Also, Ramneet, at 7:30, I'm going to log off because I have other
Actually, I'm also doubtful about Zoom logging off because I have pulled it for 1 hour only.
We have been online for almost an hour now. So, Indrani, please continue.
Yes, when a mother is anxious, then it is pretty obvious that the kids will also be anxious.
Yes.
And the mother is only anxious when she cannot, she doesn't have a free hand or on deciding about things at home. So I would come to the conclusion that the interpersonal relationships in that home is not very harmonious.
Yes.
And if it's not very harmonious, then I feel that every person in that household is naturally a bit, yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I had 2 questions which I think I had wanted to get answered. One is that how are chemicals responsible for for the anxiety disorders, and what role do they play, and if we have some significant role of rehabilitation in anxiety disorders, if then how. So if these questions we want to answer, we can do it today, or if we want to, because all of us were time bound, and if we want to log off at
Yeah, I will log
7:30,
off.
we can conclude this session here, and maybe we can ask Bhumika to schedule it the next week again, and we can have the second round of either the anxiety
I
disorders.
think that'll be better.
That will be better. So we can do it again, and I think it is a very good wheel churning method for our brains, and also I felt good joining all of you and knowing all of you here.
Yeah, so glad to meet you, Ramneet, Indrani,
Thank you.
Harshita, Vaishali, Anupama.
And also we can, I just thought that we can simply drop in our email IDs and whatever social handles we have on our group, on the IVIP group that she created for the finalized experts. Okay, we can do that.
Okay.
So it is better for us. We will be easily able to reach out. If it is difficult for you, Rita ma'am, then it's okay. We can later on approach to this recording.
Yeah,
on
you'll have to
YouTube.
help me with the social media. I'm not very good at it.
Don't worry, don't worry. You just have to drop it on Instagram, WhatsApp if possible. Only if what is possible, please do that.
No, I'll catch hold of you. You'll help me.
Okay, please do. You can always reach out to me.
Thank you. Bye-bye. God bless all of you. Bye.
Thank you
Take
so
care.
much, ma'am. Bye. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining in. It has been an interactive session. We'll talk over the next topic again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Sure.
Take care.
Take
You're
care.
welcome.